Welcome to Think Tank, the Army Cyber Institute at West Point's podcast. At the Army Cyber Institute, we confront the Army's most critical cyber challenges. We engage across our government and with our allies to better understand how cyber is changing conflict, and reach out to academia and industry to bridge gaps and stimulate cyber research. We are here to engage you on the latest in cyber and information warfare. Today I have a special guest, Lieutenant Colonel Bob Ross. So, sir, go ahead and can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. I'm glad you invited me. I spent most of my career as an artillery officer, but I applied and was accepted into the cyber warfare branch in 2015. This is my second tour at West Point. I was an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science from 2007 to 2010. While I was here the first time, I taught information technology, and I also rewrote and course directed the Academy's information warfare course. My current tour began in 2017 after I completed my PhD in information sciences. I currently teach in the EECS department, information technology, but my primary duty is as a research scientist for the Army Cyber Institute, in which I lead the newly formed information warfare team. Our team is responsible for supporting Army processes, organizations, and research for operations in the current and future information environment.
So, sir, from an Army perspective, what does information warfare look like? Like, where are we? The challenges?
Well, Lisa, the 2016 election really was a catalyst for the direction we're headed in, for reshaping not only the Army's vision, but the nation's vision for how to respond to adversarial influence campaigns, in which our population and populations from foreign partners are targeted by nefarious or ill-intentioned state and non-state actors. Gerasimov doctrine, the concepts associated with it are good examples of this, with active measures and reflexive control. We're examining these trends closely, and basically it's how Russia uses non-attributable influence in covert military operations as a method for getting adversaries to behave in ways that advantage them. Most subject matter experts and scholars would not argue that the Russian information operations, namely Gerasimov's doctrine, are not new concepts in the information domain, or what we define as information warfare. However, the rapid development, proliferation, and availability of powerful and networked information technologies are making an emotionally charged narratives a powerful tool for these adversaries, particularly adversaries of free speech and democracies. Information warfare during the competitive phases of operations are really what the Army is focused on. It's important that we try to alter the culture of the Army, where we look at information and information operations as a persistent thing, not something that just goes away after conflict or before conflict. We have to continuously be competing in the space. Presently, most military scholars look at as the spaces outside of all-out conflict or total war as gray zones. But it's my belief that we can no longer view our fight in the information environment using linear models such as this. As can be referenced in Tradoc's pamphlet, Multi-Domain Operations, our adversaries are now more willing to engage the U.S. in what is defined as the era of great power competition to achieve their strategic aims. Through this method, adversaries look to avoid a large-scale combat operation against the U.S. and choose to engage us in the information warfare domain to achieve their political, military, and economic goals by leveraging what has become defined as multi-layers of standoff in all domains, land, sea, airspace, and cyberspace, as is noted within our doctrine.
Where do you see us going from here?
Well, I extract information as a separate entity. I look at information as the glue that binds land, sea, air, space, and cyberspace together. And our adversaries are using it to sow discord, polarization, and chaos among our nation and other targeted nations' populations as a method for getting us to behave in a way that is advantageous to them. Like I said previously, this enables our adversaries to achieve their strategic aims because they are physically overmatched by the U.S. and our allies outside the sphere of competition, meaning in direct conflict.
So what is the Army's role in how it supports the nation and how we address these problems?
At the ACI, we're helping the Army look at how we conceptually organize, plan, and operate in the 21st century information environment, moving away from 20th century industrial age models. We're researching and studying how the Army can integrate our information-related capabilities across joint forces, to include the Marine Corps, Air Force, and Navy, also with our strategic partners and our allies such as NATO. We are also studying how we should integrate, coordinate, and synchronize with national-level information agencies such as the State Department's Global Engagement Center. Also, we are figuring out how we integrate, coordinate, and synchronize with our joint sister service components such as the Marine Corps, Air Force, and Navy, and working with our strategic partners and allies such as NATO throughout the world. So how we globally operate as an Army with these partners. Unity in this domain makes us stronger.
How are we supporting the big Army's effort in information warfare?
First off, we worked with the Army's information warfare team to help them transform how we'll confront adversaries in this domain overseas in a manner that promotes an overall American strategy, whole government approach, such as influencing to support foreign policy strategies. We've done this so far through our participation in the Army's research and development of a foundational study aimed at transformation, which is going to be unveiled shortly. We also help facilitate meetings between the nation's leading information warfare scholars, researchers, and the Army's transformation team working on this problem. We have consulted with joint sister service and NATO allies about how the U.S. Army should approach operations in the current and future information environment during this era of great power competition. We are also assisting with the development and fielding of wargaming technologies to support commanders and staffs for their planning and training for operations in the information environment. And we're coordinating a threat casting event to support looking at the future vision of information warfare.
So threat casting, can you tell us a little bit more about what that is and how you're using it to support information warfare efforts?
Sure. Great question, Lisa. Threat casting is a future forecasting methodology that was developed by Brian David Johnson at the Arizona State University Threat Casting Lab. It's a mixed method, more qualitative than quantitative, that uses subject matter experts' lived experiences as data for envisioning future threats in the cyber and information environment 10 years out. It is our hope that the vision developed from these events will enable us to educate and train the workforce necessary for competing and winning in this domain. We also hope it will lead to the development of technologies, policies, and procedures to disrupt, mitigate, and recover from cyber and information-related events experienced by Army commanders on the battlefield.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot of amazing and fascinating things taking place, and I'm very interested to see where we're going in information warfare and how threat casting will continue to support that. Do you have anything else that you would like to add?
Only that this is a very exciting time to be in the Army, exciting time to be a researcher, and it's very fulfilling to play a role in helping shape the Army's vision for operations in this domain.
Well, sir, thank you again for coming out to talk with us today. Really appreciate explaining a little bit more about information warfare, where the Army is going, and about threat casting. That is also quite interesting. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Next time on Think Tank.
So what we've looked at is really we looked at the past and said, well, what did we do in the past when we didn't have satellite? What we used was HF radio. So that in the high frequency spectrum, you actually bounce your signal off of the ionosphere.
Thank you for joining us.